Welcome, everyone, to tonight's City Council meeting. We are grateful to have you joining us, and as you can tell, we are still doing these meetings electronically due to the practice of social distancing and to make sure that everyone, you, our residents, ourselves, and our staff are safe and remain safe. Although we are conducting our meetings electronically, this is still an open and public meeting. Ugh, I'm reading the wrong thing. All of that is still true. Just hold, please. And we encourage everybody's participation in today's meeting. We'll get to the rules and the decorum of public comment when we get down to that section. As for now, we appreciate people joining with us and tuning in to watch our formal meeting. I'd like to begin with a moment of silence as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. When we are done, we will turn back on our audio and video.
Mute.
Well, let's try that again, shall we? I think I owe $1 to the unmute yourself jar. So we are at the public meetings section, public hearings section of our agenda, and we do not have any public hearings today. In our potential action items, we don't have any there either. So that brings us to section D of our agenda, which is comments. Our first agenda in this area is questions to the mayor from the city council. Does anyone have any questions for Madam Mayor Mendenhall? Okay, talkative group. Mayor, is there anything you'd like to say? All right. And that brings us to item number 2, which is our comments to the city council. This is where I explain the rules and decorum. We are at the general comment portion of our agenda for comments about general topics and not items that were scheduled for a hearing tonight. We are accepting your comments through WebEx, and for those whose only option is to call in, staff will be monitoring a separate phone line. The City Council has always had rules of decorum that are created to help us conduct an orderly, efficient meeting that moves through the agenda and gives everyone the opportunity to have their voice heard. These rules are no different than when we are meeting in person and are important to create a safe space where people can feel the opportunity to provide their comments and differences of opinion, even when we are meeting virtually. In order to achieve this, our rules of decorum extend from the moment you arrive into our virtual meeting. To help facilitate our comment period, please be respectful. Avoid yelling or making racial slurs, obscene, or defamatory remarks. Again, we strive very hard to create a space where everybody feels that their voice can be heard. We ask that you be respectful to each of those voices. The council does respect all points of view, and we welcome new insights. However, using foul language and personal attacks make the public comment forum uncivil and perhaps intimidating for others. In addition to this being a public forum, the meeting is also being broadcast on television and on the internet. Because of that, the council has decided to more strictly enforce the use of profanity. If you feel the need to use profanity to express your point, you're welcome to email council members or call our comment line at 801-535-7654. Based on that, this will be considered your advanced warning against the use of profanity. If someone uses profanity, we will mute your microphone and you will forfeit your opportunity to address the council. In addition, just as we would ask for your name in our in-person meetings, please provide a first and last name prior to speaking in the public comment period. To limit disruption, your first and last name given cannot include a message or violate our rules of decorum. If your registered name doesn't meet this requirement, our staff is happy to chat with you in the chat feature and gather that information and help get you re-registered. If you're unable to give a first and last name that meets the requirement, our staff is also happy to direct you to another forum where you can leave your message. Your message still is important to us. Robert Nutzman from our staff is helping to moderate the meeting. Or is it Libby today? It is Libby Stockstill, I think. Someone from staff can chime in and tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Libby.
Hello, Madam Chair. Yes, I am. I'm the speaking person today.
You're the voice. You're our narrator. Libby Stockstill will be calling the names of those who wish to comment, and will be unmuting your lines. Oh, Robert's still here, though, if to troubleshoot in the chat if anybody needs some help there. Apparently, I need help reading the script. Once we open public comment, Libby will announce the 3 names at a time so that people can have some notice and be prepared to speak. If you do not wish to speak, please message our staff to let them know, or when the host states your name, please just let us know that you're here to listen. When it is your turn to speak, the meeting host will unmute your line. Please state your name and your 2 minutes will begin. At the 2-minute mark, the host will announce time and your microphone will be muted. Of course, if you are unable to complete your full comment within the available time, please feel free to mail us at Salt Lake City Council, P.O. Box 14546, Salt Lake City 84114. Email us at council.comments@slcgov.com or call us at 801-535-7654. With that, I will turn it over to Libby to announce our first speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first speaker tonight will be Darren Mann, who will be followed by Senya Nazeva, and who will be followed by Jen Colby. So, hi, Darren, you are unmuted. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Darren Mann. I'm with the nonprofit, the Village Cooperative. We thank you so much, Mayor Mendenhall and the City Council for hosting this meeting. I have a homeless camp at our residence on 777 West, 500 North. And basically our mission, we're a food justice organization, and our mission is to localize the local food sources and feed a 3-block radius and build more nodes so that we can have a greener, healthier environment. But it became apparent to us with this homeless crisis that we needed to extend our property towards a homeless encampment. The city has been fairly cooperative. However, I have reached out to both my council representative and the mayor to have a discussion and a meeting of solutions that we could have addressing this homeless crisis, and have yet to be responded to, which is very upsetting, as I'm here to help you guys. I want us to move forward in a collaborative effort. I'm working with the Nomad Alliance as well as Unsheltered Utah to help us in this endeavor. I think this is a community effort, and we can create something truly beautiful with job training programs, farming initiatives, and that is definitely where my skill set falls in line, so that we can start to maybe create a camp. There's vacant lands all across Salt Lake County. I have experience operating on vacant land and designing farms with the Green Urban Lunchbox. So there is a lot of precedent for progress to be had. So I hope that we can cultivate a spirit of collaboration and find some sort of solution towards the endeavor of solving this homeless crisis. Is this for the city alone? No, I do agree with Mendenhall that this is something that should be shared across the state as a whole, and it is a burden unduly shared right here in our home city. I mean, I'm right in the heart of the city. So I have been going up to the state legislator and talking with several legislators. But I just want to know that the door is open and that we can start to move forward to address this issue that is currently plaguing our city. so that we can find some sort of solution to our problem. Thank you very much for your service. Yes, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Andrew,
point of personal privilege, if I might.
of course.
Darren, if you're still listening, I tried to leave a message for you earlier, but your voicemail's full. You should have my phone number on your phone, I'm hoping. So feel free to text or call me back, or I can try again later.
Thank you. Libby?
Okay, next we have Senya. Senya, you're unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mayor Mendenhall. Thank you for to all of you for all you guys do to help make our city a better space. I, like Darren, I'm also calling about this homeless crisis that we're experiencing right now. We are filing as the Nomad Alliance for 501c3 status because we really are concerned, and we want to try to bolster and foster long-term solutions to this crisis. Again, as I said before, a lot of the nomads we work with, a lot of the settlements are requesting regular trash pickups. So if there's any way we can work with the city to come and pick up the trash, there is, the health department is continuing with these abatements under the guise of public health. And I think the number one priority is to make sure that the people that are already living out in the streets can live in a place where there is trash pickup, maybe there is porta potties. We were at a camp right by the murals, and that trash can is overflowing. So whatever you guys can do to kind of help promote that. And also I'm reaching out to in hope that we can be, as Darren said, we can forge a collaborative effort to find long-term solutions. We would love to work with you guys to maybe get some land and have that land rezoned for a tiny home community, so there aren't some of these issues that are downtown with the blight and so many tent cities popping up, but there's just no place for them to go. Also, we do hear that there is going to be an abatement at Last Hope on Thursday. I'm calling to see if maybe that can be postponed just until there is a permanent solution for a place for them to move. I am afraid it's going to get kind of ugly, and that we've never had 150 people being forcibly moved from a space before. And also to bolster Darren Mann's Nomad Village, I have seen the good that his property is doing for people. There a lot of
Time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay, Madam Chair. So next up we have Jen Colby, followed by Annie Charles, followed by Corey Larson. And Jen, you are unmuted. Can you hear us?
Yes, and hi, Libby. Nice to talk to you virtually and the whole council. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks, Jen.
Okay, tell me when to start.
You're good.
Jen Colby, District 4. I wanted to make a few quick comments specific to both the housing situation in our city and specifically to the 200 South rezone petition that you heard some about today at the work session. I know we have a consent agreement issue, our consent agenda to set a public hearing in March, but while it's fresh of mind, I wanted to make a couple of quick comments. I also wanted to refer you to, I know you have huge documentation to review, but we've sent in hundreds of pages of documentation on this issue. First, contrary to the claims of the property applicant, the daughter of the owners, these are all historic structures built between 1880s and 1890s. 4 of the 5 are contributing according to SHPO. The one has had some, across the street from me on Lincoln Street, has had some modifications, but could be restored. They're in the East Side Historic District. This district is a unit. It's comprised of all of these structures, and the idea of taking out 5 structures really starts punching at the heart of our historic districts, and we lose character. This is affordability bad math. Many of us support affordable housing. These units were super affordable and have had 30 to 50 residents, as far as we know, as individual structures. But you would look, right now there are 9 of 11 current legal units being used. They could go up to 11. Taking out 9 affordable units for 2 supposed affordable ones is just bad math. There's no guarantee the project could go forward. They could just cash out. And as a census worker, I've seen there's so much vacant housing you're unaware of in our city. There's other ways to approach this. So please, please pay close attention to this. We'll be giving more comments going forward. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Chair. Corey Larson is next. Corey, you are unmuted and you may begin with your comment now.
Okay, yes, my name is Corey Larson. I am also a part of the Nomad Alliance. I just wanted to speak on a few things that I've been seeing with going out with the group in the last couple months. These abatements that we've been seeing have been a huge issue because we're not really seeing anywhere for these people to go. And the fact that some of these camps are taken down and bulldozed and pushing these people out even into deeper depths of the city is disheartening for me. I wanted to really express the fact that like we need help for these people, but also we need to have something put into place to where they have multiple days notice every time if something's going to happen, because I'm going to get on a personal level here right now. I am a veteran. I'm 100% disabled with the military. I served in Iraq and Kuwait. And honestly, the things that I'm seeing right now on our streets are unlike anything I have ever seen in a third world country. And it's just disheartening. And what Darren has done with his camp is just next level on providing what the city is just not able to provide and should be helping in this situation. So I'm just trying to, you know, we gotta figure something out, because they keep moving. Like if you guys take down one camp, they move on to another, and we need to find some form of help for these people in, and if they're going to be going into these, you know, areas of the city and stuff, I mean, we're going to have to figure out some form of care for them, and it's just not enough. I mean, there's not much I can say. I don't want to say too much more without getting emotional.
Okay, our next speakers will be Annie Charles, followed by Dave Eltis, followed by, pardon me if I mispronounced her name, Sonia Westphal. Annie, you are unmuted and you may begin with your comment now.
Thanks. I also wanted to speak on the abatements that are upcoming this week. I mean, just looking at the weather, I think that's a super bad idea, and that's not the first time I've seen this done. Abatements directly before storms. You're taking people's homes, you're taking people's shelter away from them right before we get some really bad weather. That seems pretty inhumane to myself, at least. Also, the CDC guidelines currently are to not be having camp abatements because, quote unquote, this can cause people to disperse throughout the community and break connections with service providers. This increases the potential for infectious disease spread. we already have issues with COVID and we don't need to be increasing that risk. Also, we might have beds in the shelters currently, but there's a lot of reasons why people don't want to go there. It can be really triggering for people with mental health or trauma in their backgrounds. It's really crowded, there's a lot of noises, and people with PTSD, that's a really triggering environment for them. And I know from clients I've spoken to, who I work with, who face homelessness, that's an incredibly triggering environment for them, and some of them won't go because they don't feel safe there. Another reason is like the spread of COVID in a shelter is much more high because it's a crowded environment again. And if people do have substance abuse issues there, then they won't have access to anything potentially and can go through withdrawals and again experience like really dangerous conditions. So just camp abatements don't make sense right now. The CDC says not to do it. So if our health department is going out and taking people's belongings, they're directly violating what our federal government is saying. That just doesn't make sense. So I really encourage you guys to look at alternatives and to I understand that you do have compassion, but to really look at this more compassionately and see what we can do instead of displacing people further and re-traumatizing them. Honestly, it's a really scary thing to have all your possessions taken from you and to be bulldozed.
Okay, the next person on our list is Dave Eltis, followed by Sonia Westphal, followed by Monica Hilding. Dave, you are unmuted and you may begin with your comment now.
Hi, this is Dave Eltis. I noticed that on the council's work session today, you had an item for free parking for electric cars and high efficiency vehicles. This is, well, it seems like a good idea perhaps to incentivize people to drive electric cars. They're still cars. They're still cars that contribute to traffic problems, air pollution, pollution from the tire particles, which is from recent studies in Seattle show that actually is a really big deal. More cars downtown make bicycling and walking less safe. Free parking encourages people to drive more. A better solution might be to charge less, but not make it free for electric cars, and then to charge more for non-electric cars. Free parking is really not the solution at all. And the blue parking kiosks that Mayor Becker's administration put in are not being used for surge pricing or any of the other features that would encourage people to drive less. And in addition, just as a comment to the council, when that went in, it removed 4,400 places to park bikes downtown by cutting off all of the parking meters and making it impossible to lock a bike to a parking meter anymore. So Salt Lake really needs to have deeper and better thinking on this. There was a parking study that was done a few years ago that was never released by transportation or Salt Lake City's administration that shows that there's way too much parking downtown as it is. And so encouraging more people to drive downtown is completely counterintuitive to what this administration wants to encourage, which is greener transportation. And I urge you to reject this policy or to turn it on its head and figure out something a lot better. Also, on another topic, I don't know how much time I have left, but this public utilities and the street lights.
Time.
Okay, our next speaker will be Sonia Westphal, and actually Monica isn't here right now, so following Sonia will be Emily Allworth. I apologize, Madam Chair. Sonia, you are unmuted and you may begin with your comment now.
Okay, my name is Sonia Westphal. I'm a volunteer with the Nomad Alliance. And I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the abatements. I don't understand what the reason is for abating these camps when they're just going to go make a camp somewhere else. and I don't think it solves anything. In fact, I think it just makes things worse and worse and worse. Um, and I don't see the point of it. Also, I think what Darren Mann is doing on his property is commendable, and at least on his property, the homeless there, they have more resources. They have a garbage can, they have Darren's garbage can that they can use to throw their stuff away in, all their garbage, rather than, I think it's better than them out on the street where they're just throwing their garbage on the street. That doesn't seem like it's, I don't know, to me it just seems like more of a health crisis. And the people on Darren's camp are really good people. They just fell in hard times, and if you went and met these people, you would understand they're not bad people. They don't use drugs. They are really just very nice, kind people, very kind-hearted, not violent. And I am advocating for Darren to be able to keep his camp on his property, where they at least have a bathroom they can use and a garbage can. And I don't see what the health crisis is on that end. Also,
Time.
just continuing to move these camps isn't gonna.
Okay. So now we will have Emily Allworth, and now we do have Monica. We are just doing a little bit of troubleshooting with her. So I will keep you posted, Madam Chair. So, Emily, you are unmuted now and can begin with your comment.
Hello. I would like to speak on the camp abatements. I think trying to, at the very least, reschedule the upcoming camp abatement until after the upcoming storm. I understand that the council is differing from the people who are calling in opinion on whether or not camp abatements make sense right now. However, I think for the time being, at least pushing back this most upcoming camp abatement until after there is a snowstorm, and making sure that it is safe for people to not have their belongings. In giving people who do not have access to resources limited amounts of time to move all of their belongings, people end up losing and leaving things behind, whether this is a tent that is a home for a family or this is a blanket that keeps someone warm at night. This can be the difference between life or death. We've lost too many people to the streets based on these camp abatements and taking away people's belongings, and I believe that it is inhumane. Whether or not we agree on that, I think that this upcoming abatement should be postponed at the very least until after this weather has passed. It is very cold out and there is just not enough room in shelters for every single person to have a safe place that is warm for them to sleep at night. We need to postpone this most recent camp abatement and come back to the table and talk about this afterwards. However, doing so right before a storm is inhumane and inappropriate and a misuse of power. And I hope that you can all reconsider and tell the Salt Lake City Health Department to wait just 1 week and put off this abatement.
Time.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Chair, we are still working through a technical issue with Monica. She is here and can hear us. We're just having some audio issues with her right now. if we could just get just a moment, I'll see if I can help her get it figured out.
Okay, Libby, do we have other speakers in line?
No, she is actually the last speaker for this evening.
Okay, why don't we do this? Let's continue with council business.
Okay.
And as soon as we have those technical issues figured out, then just interrupt me and we will make sure that her comment gets heard.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Of course, thank you. Let me pull up my agenda, everyone. Thank you for those comments. We look forward to the other comment that hopefully we'll be able to figure out how to allow or how to get that working for her. We're going to move on. For right now, we're on to agenda item E. It's new business. Item number 1 is a motion to meet remotely without an anchor location. This, what I'd be looking for is a motion to ratify the determination that the council will continue to meet remotely and without an anchor location under HB 5002.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that council adopt a resolution extending, wait, hold on, nope. I move that the council ratify the decision to continue to meet remotely without an anchor location.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wharton. Do I have a second?
Second.
I believe I heard a second by Councilmember Dugan. With that, I will roll call. Councilmember Wharton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
And Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so that passes. Thank you. Our second item of business is a resolution, adopting a resolution that would extend the mayor's March 10th, 2020 proclamation declaring a local emergency relating to COVID-19. The new date for, oh wait, what? Yeah, so I think that goes 3 months out. I don't know, I can never remember if we need to put the actual date in there, but it would be extended for 3 months. Do I have a motion on that?
Madam Chair. Oh,
there's Katie.
Katie's here.
Hi there. The proposed extension is actually until May 5th, 2021. And the motion, I just saw Bobby posted it, does have that date in it.
Thank you, Katie. Councilmember Wharton, did you want to continue?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that the council continue the mayor's proclamation declaring a state of emergency for COVID-19 until May 5th, 2021.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wharton, a second by Councilmember Mono. I'll go ahead and roll call this. Councilmember Wharton.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and that passes unanimously. Item number 3 is a resolution that would extend the mayor's March 18, 2020 proclamation declaring a local emergency relating to a magnitude 5.7 earthquake. This also, I believe, would be extended to May 5th, if I have a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to extend the mayor's emergency declaration proclamation regarding the March earthquake until May 5th of 2021.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Sorry. Who did I interrupt? Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Wharton, a second by Councilmember Dugan. I will go ahead and roll call this. Councilmember Wharton.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we have discussion for a quick second. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We mind just stating for the public why we need to extend this particular one. People may be wondering since it's been since last March, essentially.
Sure, either Cindy or maybe Katie.
I can help, Madam Chair. Cindy. What what we're doing, suggesting this as staff, is so that the city's options are all preserved. So we still occasionally get new instructions from the federal government about how to handle things. And so in order not to be limited in any way and disadvantage the residents of the city, the idea is to continue that, to just allow, if the federal government does change anything, then the city can adapt and take full advantage of the opportunities afforded by the federal government. So it's really sort of a belt and suspenders type of approach, and the council can rescind it at any time. So just sort of a safety net is all.
Thank you, Cindy Gustinson. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy. With that, no, I forgot. I believe it was a motion by Councilmember Wharton and a second by Councilmember Dugan. And I will go ahead and roll call this. Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Wharton.
Yes.
Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
And I am a yes, so that passes unanimously. Our fourth emergency declaration, can I just point out that we have that many emergency declarations? It's a tough year. Our fourth emergency declaration is a resolution that would extend the mayor's September 8th, 2020 proclamation declaring a local emergency relating to the windstorm.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that the council adopt a resolution extending a proclamation declaring a local emergency relating to the windstorm until May 5th, 2021.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilmember Mono, a second by Councilmember Wharton. I'll go ahead and roll call this. Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Mono.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Wharton. Did I call on you yet?
Yes. And no, you didn't. And I vote yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
And I am a yes. That also passes unanimously. I just got notice that Libby is back with Monica, who we wanted to make sure, given technical issues, that she had an opportunity to address the council. So Libby, if we are good to go, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay. Monica is here and we thank her for her patience. Monica, you are unmuted now and you may begin with your comment.
Oh, thank you. It's been very frustrating. I just wanted to talk about the afternoon session where Chowie Hoy talked about the zoning map and master plan amendment for 159 South Lincoln, 949 East, 955 East, 959 East, 963 East, and 200 South. And I just wanted to note that when Ms. Hoy was asked whether there was any historic significance to the building, she said no. And when asked when they were built, she said around 1918. In fact, all of these homes were constructed in the early 1890s, as is documented in the file that the City Council received from the planning person, which is Kelsey Lindquist. Many residents in the neighborhood worked very hard to put all this information. And this information was also collected in the 1980s because the neighborhood tried to get a local historic designation for the neighborhood. I'm sure the application is somewhere in the city records. Our neighborhood is the most densely populated outside of Central City, and the master plan specifically retained the R2 zoning because of this and the well-preserved inner courts lined with small cottages dating from the beginning of the 20th century. Please take some time to read the numerous comments the results of the survey done by the Community Council and Kelsey's work to explain the negative recommendation. Nothing has changed. Ms. Hoy said that the tenants had left. They were in fact evicted during a pandemic. And so I just wanted to make note of that. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Chair, that was the last speaker for this evening.
Thank you, Libby. And before I get to the consent agenda, I'm just going to take a moment of personal privilege. I really want to thank all of the staff. I probably do this a lot, but Libby, it was new at running the behind the scenes. I will tell you, I tried to set up a Zoom meeting with 3 people the other day and still couldn't figure it out. So our staff, over these last 10 or so months, probably almost close to a year now, have worked tirelessly to do all of that behind the scenes work. And Libby was our narrator for today for the first time, and she did an excellent job. And I just really want to give a huge shout out to the work that they have to do to make these meetings happen, and the tweaks that they do every time there is a commenter who complains or says something that they had a hard time. Our staff gets on it and tries to fix it immediately. And so just a big round of applause for our team. So thank you. With that, we are on to agenda item G, the consent item. The consent portion of our agenda, which includes setting dates for upcoming public hearings, approving a few board appointments, and I wanted to provide a little more information about the grant holding account item G4. These are grant applications that have already had a public hearing, and the funds need to be released from the city's grant account. The items included, in this batch tonight are grant funds for the halfway houses and parole violator centers, homeless shelter cities mitigation from Department of Workforce Services, an emergency medical services grant from the State Department of Health, and Jordan River vegetation improvement at the 2100 South Oxbow Restoration Project. With that, I would look for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wharton, a second by Councilmember Dugan. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, I'll go ahead and roll call. Councilmember Wharton.
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan.
Yes.
Councilmember Rogers.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdemoros.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnston.
Yes.
Councilmember Mano.
Yes.
And I am a yes. That passes unanimously. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We are officially adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and the rest of your Groundhog Day.